Okay, I think we're going live here. I'm running a little bit late. I had to help a customer get their golf cart up onto the trailer. They came to pick it up. Let me make sure everything is looking right in here.
Granger makes it easy.
There we go. Had to shut the volume off. Yeah, it looks like we got it here. Let me go back to the studio. Yeah, I think everything is up and running. So I'll just wait a couple minutes here. See if anybody come on. JD, hey, how's it going? How's it been up there? It's been pretty warm down here, or over here, kind of down here compared to you. Really hot and muggy. It was upper 80s today. I got the air conditioning on right now. I just came on a little bit late. I had to help a customer put their golf cart on the trailer. Just fixed it right before the live stream. It was this one right here, and it turned out it's like the accelerator pedal micro switch was bad, but it's a serviceable one. So I took it apart and I cleaned the contacts with my diamond cleaner. I sprayed some deoxit on it. Hey Leisure, how's it going? It's mid 80s here, mid to upper 80s here. And we're a couple more days. We're supposed to get 5 inches of rain. When it gets this warm, it likes to rain. So it cooled down just a little bit from a couple days ago, but it's still close to 90. JD says it's been quite warm. Yeah, we got terrible humidity here. But yeah, that golf cart accelerator pedal switch, I diamond cleaned it with my diamond file, sprayed some deoxit on it. I put it back together and they just came and picked it up because I don't have much room to keep that stuff inside. They like me to keep it inside so it don't get stolen. And I'm just running out of room. So we had an alert the other day, a local alert that somebody was driving around breaking into people's houses and stealing stuff. Rob, hey Rob, how's it going? How's the weather in Pennsylvania? It's been mid to upper 80s here the last 2 days. It's pretty humid. I got the air conditioning on. Rob just sent me a picture of his garden, I don't know, like an hour before my live stream. So I'm just going to put that up. So there's his progress. And it looks like it's growing really good. Rob told me it's like harvest season. Or maybe that was the last live stream. It looks like he's got some vegetables there he's going to cook up. But that's pretty awesome, Rob. I'm still got a little bit of the jam left and I'm still using it. Rob said it was 72 yesterday and today humid, but it's bearable. Yeah, I suppose we're in the upper 80s, close to 90. Yeah, I don't know if that's bearable for me. Don't worry, they are just messing around. But yeah, I was running just a little bit late on the stream here because the guy came and picked up his golf cart. Yeah, I don't know. They said the car was a louder car. One of my friends seen it in his driveway. He said a good thing his door is locked. I think I would have came outside and seen what they were up to if they were in my driveway. But he didn't. They stole stuff from a couple different places, and Michelle found out about it because the sheriff's car was over at the bar. So she stopped over there, I don't know, the other day. It had to have been yesterday. To talk to the gal. Yeah, so the gal that I fixed oh no, this is bad. So the Chevy Aveo is no more. The clutch works still, but the car don't. Somebody was driving down the road at nighttime with no lights on their trailer, and then the trailer was blocking the taillights on the truck. And she didn't see it and ran right into it. So the Chevy Aveo is sitting in my lot. I don't know. I offered her $100 for it. That's all I want to give for it. I did like open the radiator recovery tank cap just to see if it had antifreeze in it. It did, but when I took, it's been sitting out here since Sunday. But when I took the cap off, it had some pressure in there, so I think the head gasket might be going. And it's a manual transmission. There's just not much on there I can salvage. There's no aluminum wheels. It's a plain Jane, so I only offered her $100. She's gonna see what the other towing place will offer. I think they offer just a little bit more than I do. But yeah, no more Chevy Aveo, and she was so happy that we had gotten her car going. So now she's back to using her mom's car. So yeah, that was the news. We pulled up I think it was Sunday afternoon. We come to the shop to just tidy up and I come here to get caught up. And we noticed that car was out there, and I'm like, Michelle recognized it right away, but I didn't really recognize it because I didn't think that Aveo looked that nice. But then we ended up calling her because there was no keys. We wanted to find out what happened and if she was okay, because the driver's side airbag is blown up. But yeah, I think a guy could probably fix it, but if I get that car, I'm gonna see if my brother will fix it. It didn't look too bad. But I'm thinking the local towing company, the last car they gave $300. I only offered I think I offered $200 on the last one. A wrench says small cats. Yeah, they ain't worth nothing. And I had the catalytic converter guy just stop here the other day. Wanted to know if I had any, and I'm not selling them to them. They only give me like $30. 20 to $30. Some of the smaller ones are even less, and I'm like, no, people wouldn't steal them if that's all you got. And I got an outlet up in South St. Paul at the Barge Channel Road, and that guy, that's the last place they go to when they go on the barge to go overseas. And I have a count there, and the guy said if I ever have anything, he'll take it and give me good price. You get good price up there when you take it up there, and I go up there once in a while. Actually, Juan just called me and he needs me to come up to work on a magnet excavator, and that's almost all the way there. Cut the converter off and junk it. Yep. I have to be able to she has to agree to sell it to me first, and I told her I'd need a title. She says she has the title. She did not get hurt. That's the good thing. We called her up on Sunday. As soon as we seen the car here, we wanted to know what happened. But that's too bad. The Chevy Aveo is gone. And I noticed on the hood this time, JD, that it had you know how they got the VIN sticker and it said Daewoo on it. I think it might have said Chevy and Daewoo. So yeah, that's what happened to Daewoo. You could upgrade a golf cart with it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe I could throw that engine in this Jeep somehow. I mean, the wiring harness to me looks pretty simple. The only thing is, yeah, I suppose I could put a head gasket in it. It ain't that hard. But yeah, the Jeep Liberty. Oh, Line Car Mechanics. Well, who are you at, young? So, yeah, Michelle was out there helping the customer finish up and chit-chatting, and it brought us some ice cream bars, so that was cool. Yeah, the driver's side airbag went off. Yeah, that's probably what it said, JD, GM Daewoo, but it did say that on the hood, on the VIN sticker. You know, they put them little plastic stickers on so you can't, so if somebody steals the parts, they can't put them on another car because you got to get it inspected, and then that's what the inspectors look for to make sure the parts ain't stolen. One of those stickers. The Jeep is toast. No, I'm going to fix it. I think it needs 3 intake valves. I need Michelle to come on. She's the moderator. We got some weirdos on here. Maybe I can do it. So this guy right here. I'm just gonna take care of this. Hey, Young. All right, I got rid of one guy. That guy farted in my car. I don't know what's going on. I'm picking up some people here. I don't know if you guys can see these comments, but I can. I think I took care of that guy. Yeah, Young, you don't know what you're talking about. You can go to somebody else's live stream. That's my vehicle, by the way, Young. Yeah, I don't know where Michelle is. Why she's not doing the moderation. I'm gonna give her a text because she's good at it. She got her, we took half the day off today. We went up to Rochester and she had a checkup for her hearing device, and then she also got her Bluetooth box. So she's pretty excited, and she started checking out that Bluetooth thing, and she got it hooked up to the TV already. But yeah, I did notice that YouTube must have some bots that follow along if you got some good videos, and then I definitely get a little throttling going on. 100%, because I'll be getting like 10 views every 5 seconds is what my refresh rate is, I think. For a whole hour, I'll get almost 1,000 views, and then the next hour I get like I'm just gonna go look so I don't give false information. So I got the first hour 935, and then the second hour 104, and then it stays low like that. So I can tell you right there that that's throttling by YouTube. And then when I do get like a good views going on, I'll get 2 extra followers, and then when I slack on my videos a little bit, then them 2 followers will go away. I've noticed that over the years I've been doing it. I don't know where Michelle is. I'm gonna go check out her to make sure she's okay, just really quickly. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why I can't see her on there. She said she's on there. Let me... Nope, it doesn't show her on here, but it does show that she deleted these guys. Maybe my chat is just not caught up. Yeah, there I see her on this chat, but it's not on my other one. There's something wrong with that. Yeah, Hog Cracker, I'm reading the comments. So, can you diagnose a CAN bus? Absolutely. Yeah, I had to see where Michelle was so she could do some moderation here. And then my chat box on my OBS Studio is not keeping up. Let me see. It quit on the OBS Studio for some reason. I'll check back in a little bit. Not sure why it's not working. That's probably not going to be a good thing for me. So I'm going to have to go back here and kind of watch it on my computer screen. So what, Hog Cracker, Hog Cranker 91, why do you need the CAN bus diagnosed? Well, did my mic quit? I just don't have it on yet. Should I put it on? Oh boy. Yeah, we picked up some. I'm going to go ahead and get the mic going. I always forget to do this. Yeah, I was just using the computer mic and that works. But now I'm on my microphone. So tell me, is it different or better or worse? My chat on here. I'm just going to close that off. Now I'm going to add it back because it's not working. Okay, I think it's working now. I'm going to put it to live chat, all messages. Quieter by a few clicks. Okay. That's what I was wondering. I could go back to the computer. Michelle says it's good either way. Yeah, my chat's working here now. All right, good deal. And now Michelle is moderating. And we've never really had to moderate before. This is really weird. So I don't know if they're a chat bot or if them are real people. That's my question. I mean, who would say something like that? All right, let me catch up and see if I missed anything here. I do have another microphone. I haven't even tried it yet. So maybe I should try that. We probably lost Hog Cranker. So here's something. So I did find that stuff with that Jeep and those cam gears were loose. And before I even did anything, I rotated the engine over by hand. So not sure why, so I rotated it over by hand. I'm like, okay, nothing's hitting, but it had already hit. So I figured it out. And then, because I took the valve covers off, I was able to figure some of that out. So I got it. The guy gave me the two cam gears and like the middle idler gear. Them were all brand new, but he didn't put them on the engine for some reason. So I was just wondering why. It's got a new timing chain, new guides, new tensioners. So I was just wondering, if it's in time or not. Yeah, I've been cranking on it a little bit and it won't start. It'll pop, but it won't start. So I pulled off the valve covers, figured out that one cam, it sheared the pin and the cam was just stationary. So I'm like, oh no. So I lined it all back up, put it all back together. The guy gave me 2 extra cams out of the old engine. He gave me all the parts. So those cams are good. So I swapped that cam in there with a new gear, lined up all the timing, made sure the bolts were tight. And I I did get it to run on 3 cylinders or 2.5 cylinders. If you do a P0 300 and a P0 420, then and how they relate, that vid will go off big. If you don't, I will. Yeah, go ahead. I just do if I get something in here that has a P0171, then I'll do a video on it if I'm 100% sure that I fixed it. The catalytic converter efficiency, I know how to do the oxygen storage test on those, and there's a couple other ways to test those other than that oxygen storage test. Just dumb people that have nothing better to do. You think they're actually real people? CDM waving a hand from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 921. Well, that's cool. What are you up to in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Yeah, we talk about a little bit about cars here, and then I talk about what I did during the week and what cars I worked on. So I just finished up this Yamaha golf cart just before the live stream. Right there. He just came and picked it up. Did a Yamaha Grizzly earlier in the week. I cleaned and adjusted the carburetor. And then we just talked about the Chevy Avail that was sitting here. It's still sitting here. She's supposed to let me know if I'm going to be the one that buys it. She already said the insurance company does not want it. I did get the motorhome lights fixed. We got our new controller, and it's a Bluetooth one. You can use it on your phone now. It's much better. The other one was infrared, one of them cheap infrared remote controls. You have to point it right at it. But it failed and burned out. This one says it can handle 6 amps, so I'm hoping that's enough. I did not calculate nothing out. CDM is eating a double Whopper right now. That sounds pretty good. We went to Chick-fil-A today because I watched a YouTube video, and it said that Chick-fil-A was better to go to, cheaper, better, and I think they said it was owned by the workers, but it wasn't no better. It was still high priced. I guess it didn't take us very long to get our food, and I guess the service at Chick-fil-A was 10 times better. I did eat some lettuce today on that chicken sandwich, but hopefully I'll be okay. The farmer's buggy. The farmer's buggy. Just trying to think which one is the farmer's buggy. Let me go into the invoices and take a look here. I used to have people like that on my lives when I used to do them, and trouble would kick them off for me. Yep, that's on TikTok. Chevy 5-speed. Hey there. I actually got a Tremec 5-speed that's coming in in 2 weeks. Farmer's buggy. Chick-fil-A is too close to Chipotle. The wife always chooses Chipotle. Rob says last week, the white little boxy thing. The farmer's buggy last week. Did I have a picture of it up here? Chuck Roast. What could cause a rough idle on a 2002 Crown Victoria? Says there's a misfire on cylinder number 6. Change coil, new injectors plug. Still has a misfire at idle. Runs beautiful once you step on it. Well, could be a clogged throttle body. Vacuum leak, I think, will affect it more often at idle than it does when you step on it. So if you hear like a hissing sound underneath when it's idling, you got a vacuum leak. Clogged throttle body. Might have been on the live stream or short. Who knows? I'm going to go back I just can't for the life of me think of what a farmer's buggy was. I did a couple golf carts. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the Bobcat Toolcat. Yeah, that went perfect. He was very, very happy with it. It was so easy. I'd done one before. It was just not on that one, on a different one, but it was the other side axle. So yeah, I know exactly how to do those. I think that's what you're talking about. It was white. I had a hard time getting it on my hoist. It's a little bit too narrow. And then they weigh like 6,500 pounds too, so it was a good test for the cables. Yep, I'm thinking it was the Toolcat. That's the only like farm vehicle I've had in. And then the guy that wanted the fifth wheel trailer fixed, he missed his appointment. He called the other day, needs to get his F-150 in. I'm like, well, you missed your appointment. What do you want to do? Well, I'm going to have to make a new appointment. But he wants the F-150 fixed first now. So it must have not been a big deal on the fifth wheel trailer. All right, so I can close this off and get back to this. Yep, Rob, your garden is just growing and growing. I suppose it's the heat and the rain. Yeah, our corn in the cornfields around here just shot up like 2 feet with all that heat and the rain. The corn soaks it right up. Yeah, so I bought a new endoscope because I borrowed my last one out, and the guy was scoping down into a cylinder, and he turned the engine over with this down inside there, and I didn't have no endoscope anymore, so I got this one. It's like $53, $54 on Amazon. It works pretty good. I thought it came with a SD card, but it did not. I had to get one. And then the screen can actually come off of it. And I like this one pretty good because it had a pretty short cable. You gotta unlock it. So yeah, the screen can come off. I mean, it makes no difference. Why would you need it to come off? Because it has to be connected to work. And I don't know, like that's all, this is all it flexes, so that doesn't really matter. There is like a brightness thing here, and then this is to take your picture or your video if you select it up here. And the image quality is really good. And this one had the biggest screen of, this is like a 5-inch screen or just a little bit bigger. And then it articulates. So yeah, I can go right back. But for $53, my other one used Bluetooth or used Wi-Fi to my phone, which I liked it, but they don't make those anymore. And I'm like, if it's just going to get damaged, I'm just going to get the cheapest one I can. So this is one of the cheapest ones, and it works really good. I've used, so far after I got it delivered, I've used it like 10 times. Well, a lot on that Jeep. Link for that scope. Okay, I'll put it up. And I'll grab the link and put it in the comments. So let me go. So yeah, I forgot to adjust this screen. Whoops. All right, I'm going on the internet for you guys, and then I'm going to grab this link. Yeah, $53.34. Up here somewhere, get link. It looks like they changed this a little bit. All right, let me make sure that link works. Put it in the address bar. And it does, so I'm going to paste that link into the comments for you guys. let's just go back and take a look at it. So yeah, I don't think I've ever damaged my other endoscope, but I'm done borrowing all tools. I'm telling you that. Every time somebody borrows my tools, they don't come back in the same condition. Or I don't even get them back for the longest time. So I'm just gonna be done borrowing out stuff. I don't even want to deposit. I just not gonna do it. I like my tools. I've had them for a long time, and I don't like it when other people don't take care of my tools like I do. So they just have a couple pictures here. And I know it's hard for you guys to see that because we're on the portrait. And I did look, there is no SD card that comes with this. That was another one that I was looking at. So yeah, it's got a really good clear picture. And I did find out what all the stuff was in the cylinder. It was sunflower seeds, nuts, and nuts. Yep. I love my tools. I've had them forever. I take care of them the best I can. Try not to lose them. I do lose a few tools here and there, which I get very upset about. You can ask Michelle because I need my tools for work, and if I don't have my tools, I can't work. So I'm just done. If the people that are going to borrow my tools aren't going to take care of them, I don't. I mean, I understand it was an accident, but that tool was one of mine. So not going to borrow out tools anymore. I did a chainsaw. Did a lot. We're doing a lot of small engine stuff. Did a chainsaw last week. Club car. I did an oil change on it. I got his air filter sitting here. So I'll have Michelle. We were busy today, so I worked on. Let me put it back on. I worked on 2014 Kia. It came in. I'm gonna have to pull this up. So 2014 Kia. She wanted an oil change, a check over. Her rear hatch was squeaking when it was going up and down. Her license plate lens fell off, and the cell was on. So I got all that fixed. Got the oil changed. And then I gave her a diagnosis of what I think it is for the cell. It's a P, I don't even have it right here. P2098, which is the secondary or bank one sensor 2 is picking up a lean. So there's a few things it can be, and I told her, I said, it can even be an update in the computer. It needs an update, but I told her she wanted to know because she's taking it on a trip. And this light's been going on and off on her, she told me, for the last 3 months. So I don't think it's going to hurt anything as far as she's going to where she's going. So I got all the rest of it done, and I told her we'll schedule her in so I can do some diagnostic on it and be 100% sure. But I did that this morning before we had to go to Michelle's appointment. And I also made an appointment because my bank is having trouble. I'm having trouble with my bank for them accepting checks from my customers. Never had this problem until recently. And I figured it out today what's going on. Anyway, somebody could write out a check, let's say to Pete's Custom Car Shop. Yeah, if they wrote out a check to Pete's Custom Car Shop, my bank will not take it. It has to be Custom Car or Custom Car LLC. They're the only checks they'll take. If it's written out to me personally, they still won't take it. They have before. I have checks that they've cashed, but not anymore. So I figured it out what's going on. The banks are all collaborating with each other, and they want to get rid of checks. So we did that. Where else did we stop? We stopped at Chick-fil-A to get lunch. Oh, we got Michelle's internet box now, the T-Mobile one, so we're going to get that working again. Although my internet box has got some good speed. She's got some good speed going on, and I got the Straight Talk one. I'm not keeping up with the comments. So Rob says send them to AutoZone in advance to rent tools. Yep, our O'Reilly's will rent tools. I'm sure AutoZone does too. The Advance Parts Store up in Rochester, we just drove by it today and it changed into a Napa. So JD says sunflower seed nuts are and part of your endoscope. Nope, that was when I borrowed it out. They had it inside the engine when they turned the engine over, and they brought it back to me broken. But yeah, there was sunflower. I got a picture of that. I did have. I'm supposed to be easy on this guy. A lady friend of this guy stopped in, and she was wondering if I.
Okay, I'm not trying to start it.
Oh. Yeah, here's a video when I got it running. There's no exhaust on it. But I got it running on 2.5 cylinders or 3. This is after I put the timing back on and changed the camshaft on the one side. And then it just died. So I don't know why it just died. There's no coolant in it, so maybe it locked up a little bit.
Okay, I'm not trying to start it.
Let me stop this. Let me move it over. But I'm going to show JD what was inside that cylinder, if I can find that picture. Yep, here it is. So let me move this over and make it a little smaller. So sunflower seeds, nuts, and it does have brand new pistons in there. Half the timing components have been replaced. And I'm just going to order some valves, and I'm going to reuse them head gaskets and all the other gaskets. I think the head gaskets are the only one to be questionable. And then I got to get a new set of head bolts because I would normally reuse them even though they're a torque to yield. But somebody ground the ends off the washer, so they're not the right bolts. I'm going to go get one. I'm going to go get one of them bolts and show you what they did. So I do have some of the stock bolts, but there's not enough of them. He didn't give me the whole set. So here's a stock head bolt. And then here's one that was in this engine. And you can see right here, they ground it all off because the size to match this bolt. So these bolts must have been the wrong ones. And they ground them all off. I've never had to do that. But anyways, I'm supposed to lay off a little bit on this guy. I might be posting and it might be making him mad. But the new information I got is this engine came like this from Marketplace. So this guy that was trying to put it in there did not do all this stuff. Yeah, well, Michelle says I blame her when I lose a tool, but I just complain about it, then I ask her to find it. She's found a lot of my tools that I've lost. I'm going to try a Dad's root beer. Michelle says she doesn't ever touch them and don't know what most of them even look like, but I always seem to find them. Yeah, she went out one day. I lost some of my lock picking tools because we were picking the ignition cylinder on this truck that we had to get here because the guy lost the keys. I did end up getting it picked, but it took us like how many tries, Michelle? We had to drive out there like 5 different times. But anyways, I dropped one of the lock picking tools out in the snow, and she went out and found it somehow. It's kind of a small tool. But I knew I dropped it out there, so I knew I'd find it eventually. But she went out there and found it for me. That's one of the ones I remember. Michelle, you should see my wife when she borrows tools. This is Rob. She knows is like, see right here, I put it. There's a little arrow in my way. Let me start over. Michelle, you should see my wife when she borrows tools. She now is like, see right here, I put it right back on your workbench. LOL. Yeah, Michelle does the same thing now. Wife is only using screwdrivers and simple stuff, huh? Michelle says, haha, I can completely relate. I usually use the ones that I have in the motorhome. Then there's no issues because they all go back in the cupboard. Wrench says, new car market is crashing. A lot of lots are overstocked, not looking good. Yeah, can't remember what manufacturer it was. I'll remember maybe in a minute, but out in Arizona desert, they just got them parked there. Hundreds of them. Brand new cars. JD says, I thought you were being part of Swift would fix all that. Yeah, I don't think Swift fixes anything. Swift is the cause, Leisure says. People do weird things. You ever watched a lock-picking lawyer on TV? No, I never heard of that one. Yeah, minus 12 out in the snow. I mean, I didn't ask her to go out there to find that tool. She did it on her own because she knew she could find it and she could get some bonus points or something like that. No, I don't think you were mad. You were like, I got you. You had one up on me. Rob says, CDJR is really Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and something else. Really hurting right now. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff going on. So the banks don't want you to use checks anymore, and the car dealers don't want you to fix cars anymore, so you have to buy new ones. But people ain't they ain't falling for the shit. I mean, some people have to buy new cars; they just have to. But everybody else that has another way, they're not going to buy a new car. Nobody is. Ram. I knew it was something. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And it's funny Dodge made it through there. Yeah, that's why you did it. You're one up on me. You get to tell me what to do now. So tomorrow, let's see what's on tomorrow. So I did the 2014 Kia. We went and did all our errands in Rochester. Came back and got 2 golf carts fixed today. So both the golf carts are out of here. They both made it home, and I didn't make very much money on them, but they'll bring me their cars now. Oh, tomorrow I got this Toyota. I got to put that sub latch in the door. And then it also says air conditioning, but I noticed the air conditioning was working when I brought it in. So I just ran that in tonight, so it'd be sitting on the hoist, so it looks like it's a repair shop. Got to get this Jeep done. Benny's going to bring me over that 63. It might be a 63 Impala. And I got to pull that Tremec 5-speed out. So more information on that. It will shift into 4th gear when it's sitting still, but when you're driving, it will not. So I asked him, I'm like, can you force it into 4th gear when you're driving? And he's like, no, it just grinds. So it's got to be something with the synchronizer or something's up there. So we're going to pull the tranny out. If I don't see nothing wrong with it, he's got another guy he's going to take it to. But I'd like to have it on this side of the shop, so in case it's got to sit in here a couple days. Like, this is the side where stuff could sit. This other side, I'm in and out all day long. Now, Rob says it's hard to sell a vehicle when the price of electricity has more than doubled here in 2 years. Yeah, my last month electricity bill doubled. And then they said they're going to do a rate hike or something that they haven't done yet. Wrench, e-vehicles are half as much. e-vehicles are as much as half off. They're not selling. Yeah, I don't think anything. People are done with this stuff. JD says granny shifting, not double clutching like he should. No, it's a brand new transmission. He bought it from Speedway Motors, and this is in the latest hot rod he's building. I think it's a 63 Impala, so it's got a 383 in there. Everything he buys is brand new, and he just puts it all together. But it will not go into a fourth gear. So the problem is he would send it back to Speedway Motors, but he's had it in a couple years, so he's just getting it in there now. It's kind of out of the warranty is what he says. I told him, I said I would call Speedway Motors and have them send you a new one. They're pretty good. I used to get a lot of race car parts from them, and they stand behind their stuff. So anyways, he's bringing that here so I can pull it out. I can take a look at it first, and then there's another shop he has lined up on the same day that will take that transmission apart and see what's going on inside. Leo Pete 77 laughing my ass off. I guess he never saw Fast and the Furious. Yeah, I've seen Fast and Furious, but it's not one of my favorites. I think the original one was the best. I could barely watch the other ones. I think he's talking about double clutching and granny shifting. So yeah, broke. I was trying to get that bushing out of the crankshaft on that 3.7, and I was hooking on it with this is a Durochrome socket, or a thing to go on to a slide hammer, and it's a hook, but I broke it, and I can't find a new one, but I'm just going to weld this one and then grind it up real nice. But yeah, I was trying to pull so the reason the guy couldn't get the engine actually all the way in is because the torque converter for this Jeep is bigger, has a bigger pilot on it than the one that he got the engine for off Marketplace, and it had a spacer bushing in there. I'll go get it. But anyways, I could not get this bushing out of the end of the crankshaft, so yeah, I drilled a couple holes in it and tried to collapse it a little bit, and I got it out of there, and I didn't damage the crankshaft at all, but finally got it out of there so I could get the engine bolted in. And this is before I knew all the other problems. Like I said, I rotated the engine over with a socket by hand, and I looked down the cylinders and seen all them bugs. I did look back up at the valves, but I just couldn't tell. Benny's here. Yeah, we were just talking. So what kind of car is that with the Tremec 5-speed that don't go into fourth gear? Rob says, I got to do a transmission service on the wife's Outlander. Drop the pan and replace the filters. Yep. So you're just going to do a drain and fill? Wrench says, Benny says, I did not see Fast and Furious. Last movie I saw was Old Yeller. Yeah, I just didn't like the Fast and Furious. Wrench says, Riddick series is way better than the Fast and Furious. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Leah Pete, gotta love them Chrysler. I get a lot of Chryslers in for like oil changes and stuff, and the oil cooler. I guess I get them in for brakes, but not nothing terrible. Drain and fill, new filters. Plan to do it every 50K. So it's a 63 Impala. I had it right. So Benny's car with the Tremec 5-speed that shifts into fourth gear when you're not moving, but won't shift in when you're driving. And I asked him if he could force it in there, and he said no, it grinds. So I'm just thinking something's up with the synchronizer. JD, I want your opinion on that. What do you think? Why won't it go into fourth gear? It's a brand new transmission from a Speedway. I'm not 100% familiar with Tremec, but Benny says it's a top loader. Good. Or JD's telling Rob, good idea with the CVT. Yep, I think it's every 30,000 or 35,000. I think they're recommending them. So anytime I get a CVT in here and the fluid is dark, I tell them. And then we go look at the schedule. I'm like, have you ever had this transmission fluid serviced? And every one of them say no, but the ones I get in here, the fluid is very expensive for. And I always have to order it because I don't keep it on hand. So I don't know if it could be a linkage issue, yeah. So I'll look at that linkage issue. It could be a bill housing alignment issue. He listed off. Benny knows all what it could be. I watched a couple of videos on stuff like that. But to me, if it's grinding, I mean something's not right. Usually grinding is a synchronizer. It's going to be a $250 do-it-yourselfer. Yep. Ab, I'm just going to say Ab, said hi. JD says, can't be as expensive as a transmission. That's exactly right. I don't like the CVT transmissions at all. I don't know why they came up with such a stupid thing. But I guess if you keep the fluid serviced on them, that makes them last the longest. What is strange is because it goes in when stationary, right? Yeah, it does. When you are moving, it tells me it's a synchro. That's exactly what I thought. Like the synchro is jammed into the gear. And it's probably grinding on the synchronizer. Yeah, I think they would stand behind it. Speedway. I mean, I bought in a lot of stuff from Speedway, and if I ever had a problem, I called them, and I think one time I did have to send something back, and as I was sending it back, they shipped one out. But I watch a bunch of short videos from the Speedway motors, and they're very knowledgeable. They got some guys that are really knowledgeable. I think they make a lot of that stuff there. I think they're in Nebraska. What Benny told me was, though, he's had it for a while. He just hasn't put it in, and he's just finding out about this problem right now. And I think Benny's a little excited to get this 63 up on the road and get it all done. So if it's something simple, Benny wants to see if we can fix it. But yeah, if something's destroyed in there, he's going to have no choice but to give him a call and tell him what's going on. And I'm pretty sure they'll stand behind it. Or I guess I can't be pretty sure, but I would sure think they would. But yeah, it could be a bunch of different things. So we're up to 62 invoices for this month. That's not too bad. I'm cutting some oil filters over here on the bench. I recycle all my oil filters. So I got 2 5-gallon pails full of them, and it's time to do something. So usually I do that on a Sunday when I come in. So I'll cut them all out, take the steel out, take the oil out, take the paper out, recycle all the steel, throw the paper after it's drained out into the garbage. All the little rubbers, I'll let them drain off and throw them in the garbage. So yeah, I did cut my finger a little bit today. And usually I had some helpers in here that I would let cut oil filters, and they get about 1 or 2 filters and they get a little cut on their finger, and then I tell them don't do it anymore. But this is the first time out of hundreds of oil filters I've cut that I cut my finger just a little bit. A couple days and I won't even know. So the other thing, I'm getting pretty excited to go on our trip to Florida. So we decided this time that we're going to document like everything on our trip, because last time we went to Indy and we just threw all the slips and everything into one drawer, but we're going to completely document our trip. So I ordered everything separately, but I ordered this little binder, and then we printed this off today on the vinyl graphics machine. But then we're going to be able to keep track of all our, I have to turn this. We'll be able to keep track of all our slips. There's a daily planner in here. I tried to make a little envelope right here, which I think will work. Plus there's these plastic envelopes, and there's all these here. So there's daily planners, there's notebook paper, there's dividers, all different kinds of paper. So like here's got some of this style paper, the daily planners, some more plastic envelopes. I don't know if that's like a graph paper, and then plain paper. But we just got it in today, and Michelle put some of those in there. So we're going to document the whole trip, and then like if we stop somewhere and have a slip, it's going to go in there in one of them pockets. Rob says, what is strange is because it goes in when stationary, right? Yeah, it goes in when it's stationary. Yeah, but when you're moving, it's a synchro. Yeah, I think I read that one. JD says send it back. Never. Leo Pete said he's never seen that. This is Dad's. But so Benny, I bought this one, but Benny buys me some root beer because he came to one of my live feeds early on, and Benny's bought me 7 bottles of root beer, and he stopped over today, and I got him in the order that how I like them, and Benny said that's pretty much how he likes them too. So here's one of the root beers pictures. So first time Benny brought me the Spring Grove Soda Pop one. I got to find the pictures. Which I can't find right now. So he brought me these 5 bottles last time from his trip when he went on vacation. And the IBC, the one in the middle there, is the one I like the best. And then the other one over here with the star on it, that's the next best. But anyways, yeah, I got a collection of root beer going on here. JD says, I installed the air suspension compressor on the Mercedes today that fixed the suspension issue. I also saw a ripped right front inner axle boot. I think the tow truck may have caused that issue. Well, are you going to fix it? I suppose you just let the customer know, and then he'll decide if he wants to fix it. So can you lift that car up on a 2-post hoist, or do you got to shut the air suspension off? That'd be my question. Rob says, JD, airbags are the worst to have problems with. Yeah, a lot of the newer Chrysler, Dodge all have the airbags. BV Auto had a customer pay me in Mexican restaurant gift cards. Joke's on them. I love nachos. Yeah, we take all forms of payment here. I don't know if I would. Some of my customers do pay me in cookies, I guess. Barge. Yeah, I got some barge. Let me just show you the collection over here. I'm going to go ahead and flip this camera. So this IBC stuff, I like that one probably the best. Then the WBC, Spring Grove Soda Pop, and then the Dad's Sioux City. It's Barks, sorry. And then Mug AW. This Preacher I did not like. 1919, I don't really like that. And the Cootstown. The Cootstown over here, I don't like that at all. And then the one bottle of some other stuff I didn't like, I took to the recycling accidentally. JD says, I also noticed a coolant leak on it. Looks like quite the job. It's an M276 engine and it's twin turbo. Oh no. The leak is on the coolant inlet of the water pump, which is behind the intercooler. Ugh. I know. I did a Suburban the other day. They said the brakes were bad, but the front brakes are at, I can't remember, 70 or no, they were at 70%, which is 8 millimeters about. And the back brakes were about 5 to 6 millimeters. So the brakes weren't bad. No leaking fluid. Couldn't find nothing wrong with the brakes. I drove it. He said they just felt a little different is all. But he's got a couple different vehicles. So I didn't feel no problems with that. And then he needed a TPMS sensor fixed. And then I noticed that he had an oil leak down there, and it's probably coming from it's a 5.3, probably coming from the rear seal cover area. So I tightened up a bunch of oil pan bolts and the cooler line bolts just to make sure. And I told him, I said, keep an eye on it. If you want me to fix it, you'll have to make an appointment. Oh, they ordered a boot for it. So it looks like you're doing the boot. There is a button you push to lock the suspension, so don't move. Yeah, see, that's information that I would have to look up just to be sure. So I do get some cars with the air suspension in here, but not a Mercedes. But I remember back in the day, there were some other cars you had to switch off too in the trunk. But now I run everything in on the drive-on lift, so that saves me a little bit. I don't have the best service information, but I got some. And then we did the two Ford Edges on the same day with 2 brake boosters. They're just 1 year apart. The one guy told me, the first guy that made the appointment told me his was an Escape, but it's not an Escape. It was an Edge. 2011 and 2012 both came in on the same day. Yeah, the Ford Crown Victoria. Yeah, I know. I remember there was a button where, and there was 1 or 2 times that I forgot to flip the button, but nothing happened. Now my mouse quit on me. Just put a new battery in this, I thought. I got it back working. Yeah, so fixing the lights on in the motorhome the other day was super easy. Let me go get the little piece that burned out. But that's the exact same piece. This one said it was for Bluetooth, and it said it could handle 6 amps. So let me go get that piece. So got them fixed the other day, but here's the one that burned out. So it just plugs in here with a barrel connector, and then the LED strip plugs on there. But it burned out, and I confirmed it burned out because the new one works. And the new one looks just like this, but it's black. but it says it's good for 6 amps. And then here's what's left of the light strip that we did put in there. So there's about 3 feet left. I can't remember what LEDs these are, but they're the full color. And then I just cut it off here to the length I wanted. Leisure says he wants to escape out from underneath this edge. That's funny. But yeah, they both got lined up for the same day I did the first one. I mean, it went pretty smooth. But then the second one went even smoother. I mean, I just used the impact on every single thing. I did pull the intake plenum off. I did not see any other way to get that brake booster out of there without pulling the plenum off. So yeah, I just drink a root beer. Start every live stream with the root beer. I'm gonna order a little lead acid battery. They're like 3 inches by 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches by 3 inches, and then I'm gonna make a little. I made this one, but a memory saver. So when you change the batteries. But I need a little battery pack because this one I use with my jump pack, and I don't want to put a jump pack in a person's car that's been connected to the batteries in case I drop a little piece of corrosion down on their carpet. So I ordered a battery and another little thing like this that has a gauge on it and a built-in fuse. So I ordered that. I haven't ordered it yet, but I'm going to order it, and then we might work on it, make it on the live stream some night. Another tool that I made. I was going to pull this out today and use it on the golf cart, one of those golf carts, the one with the switch. But it's a starter button. And then it's got I made it so it plugs into a power probe. And then here, I got the extension cable right here. So I made this, and I got more parts for this to make more. But I make a lot of tools. So I know it's going to be battery changing season coming up, and I always use a memory saver. I just don't want to put my jump box into people's cars anymore on the inside. JD is asking Michelle, did you say he sent? Yeah, we sent you a custom car poker chip. You haven't got it yet, I take it? We sent one to Leisure. We sent one to Rob. We'll give it a little bit more time, but if you don't get it, then we'll try to send you another one. Nothing yet. That's been like 3 weeks, right, Michelle? Maybe 4. Well, Michelle has all the receipts when we mailed it. Yeah, I'm guessing it's stuck in some kind of custom situation, but I think Rob got his. Leisure, did you get yours? Leisure says, I want to build an animatronic Katrina. Yeah, Michelle, even though it has the return address on it, I've never had something been returned to me. Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks. But you'll have to let us know. And we'll yeah, Leisure got his, so I think Rob got his. We sent one to Jeffro, James, which I got in on James's live stream that he had this last Sunday, and he was riding his motorcycle. I told him to keep his eyes on the road, and then he stopped the stream. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rob got his, because he used that address to, I believe he used that address to mail us that jam. Yeah, if you, we'll give a little bit more time, JD, and if you don't get it, we'll send you another one. We'll put tracking on it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if James got his yet or not. Yeah, so that's everything I got on my list that I had to talk about. So, but no, we're staying on. It's just that we can talk about other stuff. But yeah, I got a whole 2 buckets, 5-gallon pails of oil filters to cut open and scrap out. I usually get it when I do one bucket. I used to do just 1 bucket at a time. I got to do 1 bucket about every month, and I usually get like a gallon or 2 of oil out of them filters. There is a guy that wants to stop here, and I got to pay to get rid of them. But if I just take the time to cut them apart and take the paper and steel out, I don't have to pay to get rid of them. And then I fill my scrap trailer up with them, and I think, what did I get? 200 and some bucks last time I went there. But yeah, there's other stuff in there. Had other metals, and I'm saving all my rotors. I'm gonna make a load of rotors. It won't take very many rotors for my pickup box trailer. It'll be overweight. But I got quite the pile of rotors out there right now. So yeah, I ain't gonna order no parts for that Jeep until I get I'm taking the engine out. I got an engine stand sitting here now. Yeah, it's right there. I have 2 engine stands, but they're both borrowed out. This isn't even mine. I called the guy that has my engine stands, told him I need an engine stand. So I'm gonna pull the rest of that engine all apart, figure out every part I need. Or maybe there's something wrong with the bottom end and we're not going any farther. But it does have oil pressure, and good thing I did get it running a little bit. It'll be easier to see any problems in the bottom. But yeah, my plan was to have that out of the Jeep tonight. It just didn't work out. Now I was gonna work on it on the live stream. It just didn't work out. I didn't get it out of there. JD says, one of the places I worked at had an oil filter crusher. Yep, I mean, that's got to be pretty messy, but I've seen videos of other people crushing their filters. Michelle says, I got my new Cochlear TV streaming device today. I'm using it now. I can hear the TV in my deaf ear and in my good ear. Super weird, but I'm going to have to get used to it. That's for sure. Yeah, so we made a trip up to Rochester. I went to the bank to try to get a new bank, and they said they won't take checks unless they're written out exactly to my business name. So I told them, I said, well, if you're not going to take it, if it says Pete's Custom Car Shop, I said, we're done here. I don't need to talk to you anymore. And he said, nope, it won't take him. So then I walked out. So I ordered a stamper for my checks now. And then I told Michelle, like, we're not going to text people the amount anymore. And if they ask for the amount, then we'll say, well, if you're writing out a check, it's got to be written out perfectly. So I've had 4 checks in the last 2 weeks that they wouldn't take. And I never had that problem before because I looked through some of my checks and some of them say some extra stuff on there, and one of them was written out to me personally. They took that one. So the banks have changed over the last few months here on checks. And the only reason I can figure is because they want to hassle people about checks so people will stop using them. That's the only thing I can figure out on that. Michelle says, yeah, it's a little box connected to the TV and my hearing device on my head, Bluetooth tons, so I can listen to the TV even outside the motorhome. Yeah, but I want you to use it on the TV in here. Maybe we can look it up and see if we can find one that will work. Get two of them. Because when Michelle's helping, she's not busy, she likes to turn the TV on. And it's pretty loud, and I don't like the TV on when I'm working. She says she can control the volume with the app on my phone or the little box. Yeah, that's cool. So she did say it added a new feature to her app. I don't know how that works, but it did. That's what she says. So now that Michelle banned those weirdos on here, we ain't getting no more weirdos. That's good. I have the TV on mute. Nobody can hear it but me. So yeah, so the TV's on mute, but you can still hear it. That would be great in here. So yeah, getting a bunch of golf carts, this little Grizzly, it's like a Grizzly 80, cleaned the carburetor on it. Chainsaw the other day, golf carts. I think what happens is people see the stuff sitting outside and they're like, oh, well that's a golf cart shop. So they bring me their golf carts. No, I don't mind. I fix the golf carts and the chainsaws on my spare time. Everything else has got to be done. The schedule work, everything's got to be done. Well, that's great. We'll get another one of those optical cables, and then you can just bring it in here, and I'll build you a little shelf right underneath the TV. So let me see what's coming in. So yeah, I got the Toyota van there for the sub latch and the door. It's a sliding door, and it says AC, but I noticed the AC was working. Front pads on some sort of vehicle here. I can't remember what kind of vehicle that is. This is on Thursday. Is going to be a busy day, so I have front pads to do on whatever vehicle that is. And then a 2013 Ford Taurus for transmission flush, PTU, transfer case, rear diff service. All the fluids on that one got to be serviced. Oh, I got a Grand Caravan coming in on Friday for some AC leaks. I've already diagnosed them. I ordered the seal kit. It just needs some new seals put in. So I just ordered these kits. I thought it was a 4-season one, but they come with all the gaskets for Pacific vehicles. They come with more seals than you need. So yep, got the kit. Just tons of little gaskets in there. So that should cover everything on that one. Michelle says, hi. Well, it is summer and everyone wants to drive their toys. Yeah. This last golf cart I fixed, they said they weren't driving it all summer. So they're really excited that I got it going. And she wanted to know if my phone number was on the invoice, so in case she broke down on the way home, but she made it. They did not have good luck with it. They just weren't driving it. And it turned out it was the coil and then the solenoid. And that had a little Kawasaki engine on it, and that was miserable to get that coil in there. But I got it. And the solenoid that turns on the generator or whatever to crank the engine over. It would work once in a while, but then once in a while it wouldn't. So I just ordered a new one. And I get them all on Amazon, so it takes a couple days. Put the China stuff on there. Yeah, I did take a picture of that. Where is it? Yeah, the E-Z-GO. So yeah, this lady just came and picked hers up today also. And then there's that solenoid I put on there. Kawasaki, let the good times roll. Yeah, I guess there's nobody else around here that'll fix this stuff, so it's up to me. So when I first started working on like small engine and stuff, I had a different labor rate. But I don't necessarily, this is not my like Janier. I don't necessarily, I can fix it, but I don't necessarily like fixing stuff like this. So I charge it the same labor rate as what I do to fix cars. I think that's only fair. Because before, when I was only I charged a lower labor rate, I just wasn't making nothing. So maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't like it very much. So I just moved it to exactly the same labor rate as what I'd fix a car. And I make a little bit of money now, not very much, but enough to keep doing it. I feel that's the only fair thing for me, because I could be working on somebody's car. So what else can we talk about? Yeah, let me put the Liberty.
Okay, I'm trying to start it.
Yeah, where did that go? So I already put the engine back in time, and I tightened up the bolts, changed the camshaft on the driver's side. I mean, I already knew the valves were bent, but I just wanted to see if I could get it started. I didn't know how bad they were bent. They're bent pretty bad. Can you guys hear that running?
That's all she wrote. Okay, I'm gonna try to start it.
I have quite a few pictures. It's got. We'll go over there and take a. We'll go over there and take a. We'll go over there and look at it in a minute. It's got brand new pistons in it, brand new head gaskets. I'm gonna reuse them head gaskets. You guys ever reuse those multi-layer head gaskets? I have before. Yeah, none of the oil was spraying out of there, JD. It was all running back down into the oil pan. You can see it here. I'll run it. I'll play it again. But you can see the oil there on the passenger side. It's just running right back down into the oil pan. Yeah, that filter came. Usually that filter came with the Jeep. And at this time, I already know that there's problems with this engine, so I'm going to use the Fram up, because it's just going into the garbage. Or I'm gonna cut it apart. And I'll check for steel, but metal.
That's all she wrote. Okay,
But
I'm gonna try to start it.
I want to finish taking it apart. We're gonna walk over there and take a look at it in a second. But I want to finish taking it apart before I get any more of the. So I know what's going on. Maybe the crankshaft's ruined. I'm not gonna get a new crankshaft. But yeah, I figured out how to put a. And I did not publish this video because the lady friend of the owner stopped in today and she brought me some more parts, like some valve covers and some front end parts that they had, and he wanted his engine equalizer bar back. So she just suggested that I don't know if I'm not making fun of anybody, I don't think. But whoever was working on this engine probably needs to learn more or not work on engines. That's just what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody or put anybody, like, dox anybody or anything like that, but he gave up on it and he gave it to me to see if I could get it running. I'm gonna get it running. I'm gonna finish it up, and I might give it back to the guy. I don't know. He put a lot of effort, time, and money into this thing. I got the transmission cooler lines hooked together. No, I don't think it's a Jasper, but I heard they're not very good. I have put in some Jasper engines years ago, though. TriStar, I put in a lot of TriStar engines out of Wisconsin there. The Napa ones, what were they, Gophers or something? I put in a lot of those. Back in the day when the car lot days, if we didn't rebuild them, we got them a reman. Did have some problems with the reman ones, though. Quite a few. It was better. We had less problems when I was rebuilding them. I don't know how many North Star engines I rebuilt. Quite a few. All right, let's go look at this thing. I got the engine stand. I just gotta have. I should have sometime. All right, let's go take a look at this engine. I'm gonna bring these other parts back here. There's the engine stand. It's a homemade engine stand, but it's not my engine stand. He's got mine. He must be using them because this is the only one he could free up. But it looks like it'll work. Then here's my oil filters, cutting all these apart. That's all metal in there, draining that, and this is all garbage in here, draining that. I didn't get very far in my bucket, and I got a whole nother bucket that's overflowing. I did notice, and I ran the engine this engine this way, but I did notice that this cam cap bolt opposite of my finger there it wasn't in all the way, so I'm gonna have to fix that. The cam is not damaged. The cam looks good. I do have to change this cam because the little pin it's not perfect. And over here I got a cam. He gave me a cam out of the old engine, and this cam looks like it's okay. So I'm gonna swap this cam into that head. And then I'll get my light. Got a couple lights up here. Oh boy. I did notice that this valve here is bad. And then this valve here hit. But I think this cylinder, when I checked the compression on it, this cylinder did have compression. And then we got this valve here and this valve here. So I'm going to order 4 valves. Look, I have my light in there still from the video. I was wondering where my light went. Here's all the head bolts, and they cut or they ground all them washers. And then the spacer that was in the crankshaft. But over here, here's the engine. So most of the timing components are in there, but this gear has not been changed, which I do have to get that gear off to precisely line up these back two chains. But I have a new gear for that. There's a new gear over here. So there's that new gear, that new gear. There's a set of main bearings right here that are new. There's the cam gear I put on. The guides are all brand new. And the pistons are standard, but they're brand new. So yeah, there's the transmission lines. I just clamped them together because I just wanted to see if I could get it running, and I did. I mean, I knew the valves were bent, and I knew I was going to have to take it apart, but it only took me 10 minutes to put this all together, and so I could try to run it. Yeah, so I was able to get the wires fixed that he cut. I'm leaving them exhaust manifolds on there. I am going to check these heads to see if they're warped. And then if they are, I'll have to fix that. I'll get back to the comments here. Phone's a little, whoa. Oh, now it's all screwed up. Hopefully the guides did get damaged. I don't know if they tried to run it and that's what damaged it, or if they're just turning it over. They probably just cranked it over. But I tried to wiggle the valve to see if the guide was bad, and it feels tight to me. And I did notice that, so they did not get it started, because I noticed when I had my endoscope down in there, I noticed grease gun grease, what appeared to be grease gun grease on the valve guides. But, and I found some valves from, who's got the cheap valves? They were from, I think they were from AutoZone. $6 and something a piece, so not too bad. I found a new set of head bolts. I'm going to get some cheap ones on Amazon. It'll be okay. So head bolts and some valves right now, and just time. But I'm going to get on it. I need it out of my shop. I want it to run. There's a bunch of other little things. It needs a tail light. The wires in the door are messed up. The back passenger door. The driver's door doesn't latch quite right. Like the striker is off. Needs upper ball joints in the front. So lots of little things. I need a new crank sensor pigtail, because the pigtail he cut off is not here. I can't find it. Don't last valves. So let me look at them valves. I'm going to pull this up. See what brand they are. I think they would be better than Amazon. How long is it going to last anyways? Leisure's thinking I should spend a little more money on valves. I just don't want to. But I'm not ordering anything yet. It's going to be a few days. All right, I got the car pulled up. Let me type in intake. engine intake valve. On Napa, $34.99 a piece. Mayhew sealed power, $22.79. O'Reilly's has mailing for $20 a piece, and then AutoZone has mailing valves, $6.63 a piece. So them are the ones I'm getting. There's 6 of them in the network. No, there's 5 of them in the network. They only have 5 intake valves available. Okay, there's 5 at one store and 5 at another store, but that's really odd. Why would you have 5? $6.63 a piece for mailing valves. I don't think that's not bad. Michelle could drive it. It's not fast enough for me, Leisure. I'll 4-wheel drive Baja it. I was just kidding. It'll be very well taken care of. It's fast on its way to the junkyard. No, we're gonna get this thing going. If that guy doesn't want to have it back, then we're gonna drive it a little bit, make sure everything is perfect. And if he don't want it back, then we might give it away, or we might keep it for a little while. We haven't decided yet. I don't want to give away a car that's not going to last, so I want to make sure we're going to definitely drive it for a while. It's got new tires on it. There's all new brakes. There's more brakes in the front floorboard. But there was a couple more things that needed some attention. I can't remember what they were. No, there's not much rust on it, but he did try to fix some of it. I got a cricket in the back of the shop over there on the other side. I can hear it. But it's got new pistons in there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take all that out, make sure I'm gonna order a Dingaball hone. I had that in my Amazon thing, and I got a certain way I put my piston rings on, or certain positions I put them in there. We got to check all the bearing clearances. There's a new set of main bearings there that didn't get put in, although the engine was apart. Maybe it already has them in there. I don't know. So I don't know yet. I'm gonna finish taking it apart and see what else it needs before I order anything. Because if there's something major in there, it's going out to the junk car row. And that reminds me, there's an Equinox out there, Michelle. We gotta call them and see what they want to do with that. Yeah, the PTU is out of this Equinox. And then the transmission fluid is black as motor oil. The diff fluid's black as motor oil. Nobody ever serviced anything under there. And then I told them how much the PTU was going to cost. I even said if they bought one on Amazon that I would put that on. But they so far have decided not to fix it. So we need to call them, Michelle. So it's been here a couple weeks now, and that's long enough. I don't know. I suppose I would give $200 for that one. Knife edge to crank. Yeah, we could do some wild stuff in there. Definitely gonna check the side clearance. Maybe we might want to rev it up a little bit. Mr. Dorshark. Do I work as a librarian? No. Give me some cheese, man. Yeah, we don't have no cheese. Knurl the piston skirts. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of pistons are in there, because I see he did give me some of the old pistons, and they have a black on the side of the skirt, like a coating. I don't have no way to knurl the pistons though. We did to get back in the day. It was on a Ford. Is it a 292? The old V8s Y block. We couldn't get pistons for that, so we knurled them because they were loose in there. And then I put heads on, 2 different compression ratio or combustion chamber heads. I can't remember the sizes, but one was bigger than the other. But it worked, and it worked for years. I don't know what happened to the truck now. It was a cab over truck that the cab flipped all the way over. That's how you worked on it. Goxininium raccoon in Portuguese. I probably didn't say that right, so sorry about that. 292 Y block, yeah. Yeah, I rebuilt that. We narrowed the pistons in it, put all new bearings. We couldn't get no pistons for some reason, something. And then we couldn't find another head, but we had 2 different engines. One was good and one was no good, probably customer supplied, but they both had different combustion chamber sizes. But I mixed them up and it ran just fine. You didn't even know it. It ran like it came off the showroom floor. That was one of my. I was in the early 20s when I rebuilt that. So that was quite a few years ago. Back in those days, there's still a truck running around out here that still has a 350 that I rebuilt from almost 30 years ago, and it still runs. I think I had to do the carburetor on it not too long ago, and a brake master cylinder. But they use it all the time, and we put an RV cam in that, and I did tighten down the valve cover gaskets on it once. But other than that, there's no leaks or nothing. It looks just like I put it in there. Smokey Urinick used to narrow pistons. Yeah, he's got a bunch of tricks, and I watched some of those videos of what he used to do. And only if I knew that much back then, I'd have been a lot faster. I'm looking for a Chevy Suburban any year. I'm not aware of any for sale. I just worked on one the other day. It was a 2012. But I'm not aware of any of them for sale. Where are you from? Guaxinem 98. Where are you from? Raccoon in Portuguese. No, we don't have any Suburbans. I don't know if Michelle would sell her Expedition or not. I think she should. I got a Chevy van, but I don't know if I would sell that. I've had a couple of people ask me, and I said no. Nemo poly or rubber bushings for the MK3 Jetta TDI. Well, poly bushings will probably be a much more stiffer, firmer ride on the rear, he says. If I was doing that at my shop, I would just get the OE equivalent from one of my parts stores, aftermarket. If it was my own car, I don't know. I'd probably go with the rubber ones. It's I don't know. I don't have no experience with the polyurethane bushings. If they last, don't last. I can only assume that your ride would be a little bit more firm. How many miles? I'm from Brazil right now. I'm helping my friend. He lives in California. Yeah, we're quite a ways away from California. 1,500 and some miles. Here's a pretty sweet truck. I think this is like an 81 or an 82 Chevy. Yeah, my van is pretty old. I drive it all the time. And this Chevy is here's the one, a 1968 Chevy. Actually, this guy just came in the other day, said the truck is great. Can't remember. He's got a Honda. Some transmission solenoid was out. He wanted me to read his codes, and we looked on a diagram from the dealer and figured out which solenoid it was, and looked them all up, and we decided we're getting an Amazon one just to try it. Oh, the van? That's what you're talking about? The van. Yeah, I love my van. I'm gonna turn it into the A-Team van. That's a 1979 Chevy van. It's got a quad jet on it. It's never been rebuilt. Michelle's Expedition is a 2001 Eddie Bauer, 330,000 miles, original miles, she says. Need some exhaust manifolds on that one. We should get that running again, though, Michelle, because it's just sitting back there. Get the battery charged up. We got to change oil on the Jeep. She's overdue. Jeep's overdue on her oil change. Michelle's driven it too much. I pity the fool. Yeah. How many pounds of jewelry necklaces did he wear? Was it 40 pounds, JD? I'm going to find it. This is what I'm going to do. The A-Team van pulling my General Lee race car. We just put a battery in that 2 years ago, Michelle. That's my ringtone is the A-Team. We played it last Thursday. Yeah, I seen it. We were driving today, and I'm like, well, we got to get this in for the oil change. They're supposed to change Michelle's oil this past Saturday. Yeah, I can't remember what we did on Saturday. It was hot, wasn't it, Michelle? Oh, it was so hot on last Saturday. Mr. T routinely wore 35 to 40 pounds of solid gold jewelry. Can you imagine 40 pounds on your neck all the time like that? Yeah, Mr. T is awesome. Yeah, I agree. I made Michelle mad today. Two gypsy traveling salesmen from Illinois are here. Snake oil salesman. They're trying to sell us some cleaner. And the brochure that they had, I swear to God, it had shit on it. I'm like, and they were very loud, very anxious, very jumping all over the place. And I told them I wasn't interested. If there was anything I could help them with, I asked them if there's anything I could help them with like 3 or 4 times. They would not answer me. They kept talking over me. And then they showed me that brochure with shit on it, and I asked them to leave. And then they got upset with me. And Michelle got upset with me for treating them like that, but I couldn't have those kind of people around here with other customers coming in, so they had to get out of here. They need to go sell their shit cleaner to somebody else. And I don't think I just asked them to leave. They were trying to push this cleaner on me, and they didn't even know we were a car shop. They were trying to sell it to Michelle's. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Yeah. They were like very loud, very like flinging their arms everywhere, yelling, and I'm like, how can you try to sell me something if this is the way it is? I'm like, if there's something I can help you with, let me know. And I said, I'm not interested in your product. And they just kept showing me this brochure that had shit on it, and I'm like, nope, you guys got to leave. And then they got a little mad at me, and Michelle did too. But I didn't need them two snake oil salesmen talking like they were outside my building and have a normal or a customer show up. That would be it wouldn't look good. And I seen their license plate was from Illinois. Their vehicle was very loud, very dirty, and I asked them to leave. They said there was nothing that I could help them with. They did not need no repairs, or they weren't broke down. They were trying to sell me some shit cleaner. So I told them I wasn't interested and asked them to leave. Yeah, Michelle didn't like me talking to them like that, but they wouldn't. I told them I wasn't interested. They didn't need anything else, and they wouldn't leave. And they were very, very loud. You boys drank a lot of beer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their deal was. They're just not used to a small town like this. They were like hustle and bustle, and they were trying to hustle me. And I just said I wasn't interested, and they wouldn't leave, so I asked them to leave. They did. And they told me I need to, Jesus or God or Jesus needs to, I can't remember what they said, but something about God and Jesus and me. But that was a little bit of excitement. Hopefully they don't come back and burn my shop down. Closing time, open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time, turn all the lights off. Lights on over every boy and every girl. It's Blues Brothers reference. So I got to read JD's again. Closing time, open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time, turn off all the lights on over every boy and every girl. I don't know. I thought they were really snake oil salesmen, and it was I probably wasn't in the mood. But they didn't need anything from me. I asked them if I could help them multiple times. They wanted to sell me some cleaner, and the brochure for this cleaner had shit on it. I'm like, I told Michelle to go in and wash her hands. Oh, it's a song. Well, he said, I need Jesus, and told me you're good, and left. Yeah, I probably do need Jesus, probably for sure, but I think we all probably do. Yep, I play that song also. Yeah, I probably heard the song, probably seen it on a YouTube. Probably need to put it on my playlist. Is that one of the songs I need to put on there, Michelle? Oh yeah, there's a TV show about it. That's right. Isn't that right? That is a TV show, right? I think I got it. Oh, here, JD, you missed this one last week. Michelle and I went to the races, and the guy there, so the guy in the 21 car won. This guy in the 87H got second, and he's Harley Davis Racing, and he's got YouTube videos, and I've been like watching some of them, or they come up on my feed, so I'll comment on them once in a while. So here I'm at Tech. I'm asking these guys where their pit stalls are so we can come down and talk to them. But anyways, the guy in the 21 car, his dad built my car. So that was cool because he won. And then I bought a shirt from this Harley Davis kid. We went down there and talked to him, and he's telling me one of the problems, he ripped all the tread off his tire. Second time now this has happened to him, and he figures that's why he lost. It could be. But I was talking to him and telling him like what I thought of it, and told him who I was, and he's like, "Oh, that's you." So he said next time he drives by, he might stop in. Oh yeah, Daisy. So when they first came walking up to the door, them snake oil salesmen, Daisy parked at them and they jumped. But Daisy's on a chain. She can't break free or anything. It's a pretty good chain. I fell asleep last week. Well, yeah. No, I got to take a nap here and there. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So I got to talk to these two guys. And we went up to here's the other picture we took. It was free night. That's why we went. You get to get in free. But we're sitting down in the grandstands, and I'm like, look up at the VIP area, Michelle. I think we can just walk right up there. So we did. We got up here to a big lookout area where the VIP people have to pay for these. It's like $1,000 a year. But I knew everybody up there anyways. So we got to go up there and watch them from up there. This is the hobby stocks. And I took this picture for Timmy does everything, but he hasn't come on lately. So, yeah, not too much going on. We got some more work to do on the RV. Being a couple hours ahead of you, I know. Yeah, you're 2 hours. No, I appreciate you coming on here. You've helped us fix a couple cars. You got some good insight and some good knowledge. Like I say, up until the last 4 years, I was in manufacturing for 15 years, probably. But before that, all I did is cars. So most of my experience is on older stuff. But the last 4 years, I'm getting a crash course, and on the new stuff, I got a pretty good scanner that works, and I got to get another new one. And I keep looking at the Autel Ultra S2, because who wants the original Ultra if they have an S2? But anyways, I don't know. I just don't think I should spend $5,000 on a scanner. But I really want the Ultra, the Autel Ultra. But I do have the X tool, and that's fully updated. So I did have a car the other day that the launch didn't work on because the updates have been gone for a couple years now. Yeah, it's huge. That's the other thing. It would work good in some scenarios, but other scenarios it'd probably be clumsy. And then the vehicle communication interface device is the lab scope and multimeter and stuff like that. But I did ask the Autel rep if you could use the little. I'll go get it. It's right over here. Just hold on. So this is the VCI for my my TPMS tool, I got the ITS 600, but I did ask the Autel rep if this VCI V200 will work for the S2 or at that time it was just the first Ultra. But he said, of course it'll work. I'm like, well, why don't you send one of these with the Autel? And he's like, he just couldn't figure out. But most of the time, you'd probably just need to use this. You wouldn't need to use the big one. With the J box, it's got a J box, a scope, a meter. Yeah, it's all built in, and it's huge, and it plugs in. I guess you wouldn't forget it in the car. Like on my launch, I glued a old style telephone cord to the VCI, and then I got a little snap clip so I don't lose it. Because I left it in a car one time, and then I had to figure out which car it was, and I had to go call the customer, and yeah, I'll go get it. Might as well. We're doing show and tell right now. So on the launch scanner, I just got, here's my VCI, and then that's like a piece of a bike inner tube, and then I hot mount glued this cord to it. And then this cord plugs right, I got it tied right to this. So it just clips on there. But if I got to go out to the engine bay and do diagnostics or underneath the vehicle, then I leave this in the car, and then I can bring the scanner down there, up there, wherever. But anyways, I haven't updated this, and the updates are a couple years old now. It was a Chrysler I was working on the other day. I wouldn't communicate with it. But the X-Tool did, and the X-Tool's completely upgraded. But I'd probably do something, like if I got the Autel, do some kind of tether on this. But the Autels are nice because there's a light. There's no light on this one. But I gotta get a tire machine. I gotta get a new scanner. There's like $30,000 of stuff I gotta buy that I need to buy that I can't buy because I've already paid that much in taxes this year. Autel just released a new scope, NP608. We just got a cheap X-Tool dongle just for an extra scan tool. NP608, isn't that the whole, that's the whole scanner, just not the Ultra. Yeah, I was looking at some of the other ones. Michelle says, we close at 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, so that's really the only time Pete can do his live feeds is after 8. Yeah, I mean, we do on Thursday, start at 7, but I do leave the doors unlocked in case somebody's coming to pick up their car or want to drop a car off or a walk-in appointment, which we have had some people do that. But if it's after 8, I don't mind locking the door. JD says, I've been designing and 3D printing test light stuff, kind of like the check engine chuck load cage. I also designed a cover for a 3151, or so you use that bulb for a test light, but they get hot, so you need a cover or a guard or a shield or something. No, the NP608 is a scope kit, just came out the beginning of this month. So does that work on any Autel scanner? I'll go get my test light, JD. This is a test light you need to work on. If you got a 3D printer, we need to get together and make this test light. So this test light, and I already bought some stuff because I want to start making these. But here, let me show you. So that's a banana connection. And so is that. So you can use this with a set of test leads. Super sweet. And then, like, you know, like the Snap-on test lights have that bulb that looks like an old style fuse. Yeah, these things, it's got like a Snap-on test light bulb fuse in there. Or bulb. That looks like the old fuse. But this is the sweetest thing, and they don't make these anymore. Bought it on Amazon. They've been out of stock ever since I did the video and showed other technicians this thing. But yeah, you can put different probes or different clamps or different leads, put it inline circuit testing. Yeah, it's the bomb. But if you got like I'm assuming you would be able to make this on a 3D printer. But yeah, I love it. I bought my brother one, and I have this one. And then that's it. We had the video, and then they sold out the next night. But I use it all the time at the shop. I probably have like 10 test lights here. But I think, let me go get one, and I'll show you what JD is talking about. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I was talking about, but I think JD is talking about like this style test light. The little 194 bulbs don't get too hot. Here's one I just soldered. I soldered the wires onto the bulb. Some alligator clips. So I think JD's talking, he's making a case for this so you don't burn your hand. Or these will melt right through plastic and burn the carpet. So JD says I had a scanner danner test light, the OTT 3633, the mini one with the red bulb. I lost it somewhere. Yeah, I know. This one reminded me of the scanner danner test light. And my Snap-on one does have the red bulb. So I think you could still get those bulbs. If not, they sell the red ones on Amazon. I'm slowly learning this CAD thing. Sometimes it takes a few tries to get it. Please don't tell me you lost it. Lost what? JD lost his OTC test light that looks very similar to this one. The only thing I have noticed with this test light is that it's not a lot of resistance. Like if you were pulling on it, like it needs a better cord. Because this cord is kind of stiff. But if you had this shows you how long I've been working on cars. And I had this after I started working on cars, but this is my Snap-on test light. And if you had a nice cord, like this is really flexible. And then this one has the red bulb in it. And I know there's another way to wind these up without using a little cord wrapper, but one of my friends that I worked with, he could wrap these up. Ties it in some kind of loop fashion. But yeah, this is pretty old. I bought this after I started working on cars. Yep, I made it so the socket fits and turns tight. Yeah, so yeah, these bulbs will melt plastic, burn carpet, they will burn you. I don't like this one I made with the socket because the bulb just doesn't fit in there tight enough. Maybe I just got the wrong socket. But this one I got little connector terminals like that. Now, the 194 one, I don't have any terminals on there, but I use this 194 one a lot. And then I do have another test light that I made that uses a Chevy old style Chevy dome light bulb, and I think it draws like 4 amps. So it's my high amperage test light. Made one with silicone wire. Yep, that's the best. So that must be what this is. It's a silicone wire. Your test light, Pete. Haha, you were looking for a minute. Yeah, it was over on the prototype bench from making the timing board, which is still over there. We haven't gotten any farther on the timing boards. Yeah, so I keep all my meter lead wires because I got so many multimeters, and put my banana plugs on my test light. So that's a good idea. I'll go get my high amperage one. So this is another test light I made, but I did put a banana plug in the end of it. But this is the old style Chevy dome light bulb in there, the round one. So it's my high amperage test light. This is what this one is. And then here's another test light I made, and it's a digital. It's like 5 to 36 volts this thing can measure, and I put the display in there, and it also has little LEDs that light up. But this one is a low amperage test light, computer safe. So anytime I'm working on computers or higher voltage, I use this one. And this wire on this one is not too bad. And there's probably like 10 more test lights over there. I just got a huge selection of test lights. I love test lights. Then me and my brother, we're gonna try to make these. But now JD, I think with the 3D printer you could print this. So if you printed this, would it be clear enough to show? I suppose it would be, but clear enough to see the light through it. Well, I went and got some more test lights. Here's one I got as a gear wrench. The little light bulb's in there. Garden Bender test light. I've had this one for a long time, but it unplugs too, but it's not a regular banana connection. And then here's a cheap Harbor Freight one. I think there's more test lights out in my pickup. This one is a non-contact one. I haven't tried it for the longest time. I should try this again and make sure it still works, but I've used the piss out of this non-contact one. No, it wouldn't print clear enough. Well, that's what I was wondering. So that's no good. Need to get some filament that would be clear. Yep, so I have a little fetish with test lights and multimeters. I got a ton of multimeters. I got so many multimeters, sometimes I don't know which one to use. Would need the clear part and probably design around it. Yeah, so that's what me and my brother did. We ordered some round acrylic, and then we were just gonna machine it from there. And then we ordered bulbs and banana connectors. But that was over a year ago, and we bought all the stuff and haven't went any farther. But now that you were talking about the test lights and making the cage and like parts to screw in, yeah. I mean, someday it would be nice to make a little money not having to work so hard in my older age. Someday, when I retire. So when I retire, I don't want to really work on cars anymore. But I wouldn't mind making stuff or more hobby stuff. But I still want to make money. But that's a few years yet. I got to work pretty hard for the next 15 years I got left to go. Unless Michelle would ever win the lottery. That would work. I gotta have a lot of stuff to pick up for tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna order that little battery, make the memory saver. JD said he's gonna convince me to get a 3D printer. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what I need to do when I get older. But right now, I mean, I used to do a lot of prototyping, and I don't hardly do any anymore. I'm just like all focused all on cars, and it's quite the rigmarole some days around here. Like today was pretty busy at the beginning for the most part, and then hardly only one person called us when we were gone. But as soon as we got back, it lit up again. Of course, I did fix 2 golf carts when we got back. Yeah, 3D printer. I mean, I imagine I could come up with something. People make a lot of money. You can see the videos that people post of them making stuff that's one-offs or originals, and some of it's really awesome. I do like some pry bar holders that magnetize to your toolbox. That would be great. You could do that with a 3D printer. And I've always wanted to make a cage for these lights, these test lights, because they get hotter than hell. But I never could figure it out, but JD's got it figured out. We'll buy one from you, JD. Get it done. We'll buy it. I made a little bit of money with mine. That's awesome. I mean, once you get good enough of it at it and come up with enough ideas, you might not have to work on cars anymore. We have the vinyl printer, and I have no idea how to make things on the PC, but I can cut it out of the vinyl after it's been cut, and then Pete does the application. I just put the vinyl letters on this, Michelle, because I wanted to get it done for the live stream. But yeah, that's some carbon fiber red. It's not, I'm sure it's not showing up. Yeah, there it does. Carbon fiber red vinyl. And it's a little bit thicker than normal stuff, so I'm a little bit worried about like ripping the letter off. But yeah, before when I had a regular job, I would come home every night and make vinyl decals. I only could do one color. I mean, you can overlay colors. But I made enough money to pay for the Corvette, pay for the machine, pay for my handgun, and I made a lot of money off that machine. And then now I'm working here, so I don't do that. I was a power seller on eBay. I sold so many decals. So Michelle could do that and make quite a bit of money if she wanted to. Yeah, we got a little planner going on here for our trip. I can't wait to get this more organized, and we'll start planning the trip in here. So anywhere we stop, put the receipt in here, make a note of it. We'll know every place we stop on the way down, what roads we were on, because that's what, when we went to Illinois, Michelle, I don't remember the roads that we took and all the little towns, and I kind of remember the little gas station where we lost the gas cap. No, we don't build any custom cars, not yet. Maybe later after I retire. That's kind of why I named my business that. Well, when I started, I customized the Jeep a little bit, so I'm like, and I wasn't in business at this time, so I'm like, I knew I had to do something, and people kept showing up at home, so I'm like, all right, I customized the Jeep. I'm gonna name it Custom Car, and then also that the colors of the Jeep, the Omaha orange and the black, them became my shop colors. So that's how I started. It was because of the Jeep. Well, I had to sell the Corvette and buy the Jeep so Dad could ride in. He couldn't get down low enough in the vet. It was hard for him to get in and out of the vet. Tell them what it says on the book. So it says, Pete, Michelle, Daisy, 2026 Florida trip. I don't know. Why do I have to tell them? I've been planning tool grid for my toolbox, way cheaper than the actual product. It's an organization system. Yeah. I finally bought some pliers holders that work good. But yeah, you could, if you got a 3D printer, hell yeah, you make that stuff yourself. And you can customize it to whatever you want. If you buy the pre-made stuff, it's probably not what you want. It works, but Johnny, you build custom cars. No, Johnny Rocket 7922. Richie Evans orange. Well, I don't know what color that is, but the Jeep color is Omaha orange. Hi, Johnny. He has and can, but we just mom and pop auto shop for right now. Yep. Oh, because it's backwards from the camera? Yeah, but people could still read if it's backwards. Like, you guys knew what that said. Pete Michelle. Yeah, I can read it. It's backwards in the camera, and I can read backwards. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Yeah, I think that's an Android thing. Like, I think iPhones would show it the right way. Maybe not. some phones show it the right way, and some phones it's reversed. JD says I'm printing pliers holder right now. Yeah, so you can make them customized to how you want it to hold your pliers, and usually the technicians and the mechanics know more than the other people that make them, that sell them online, the tool people. Like, I always got to have my stuff customized to me. Like, if I buy it and I can customize it, I do. I always do. But yeah, pry bar. I was thinking a pry bar holder that magnetizes to the side of the toolbox and can hold up big pry bars. Well, you must be special, Pete. Well, I don't know if I'm that special. Someone stole paint from the New York City DOT, and Richie had a new color for his modified. Oh, oh boy. And you said that was Richie Evans, orange. Yep, you can't even buy these ones. So that's where you do, like, honestly, the best thing you could do is like a YouTube video on it or a short vid if you wanted to sell them, and then put your information out there and you will sell them. But be prepared, because like I did the video on that test light and that company sold out and there ain't no more of those test lights. And I only was able to get 2 of them for myself, so I bought one for me and one for my brother, because he does some electrical stuff on agricultural stuff, and he loves that test light too. Well, I'm special to Michelle. Okay. Well, thanks, Michelle, and you're special to me too. That's too bad about the Chevy Aveo. I'm hoping she sells it to me and then I either fix it or do something with it. So JD, is that a place where you could sell it or just give other people's, or show it off? Give inspiration to other people. I get a ton of inspiration watching other people's videos and live streams. I'll have to check it out. I'm gonna write that Maker's World down here. It's a website where you get the files to print. Oh, so you can share your stuff. Well, that's kind of like your prioritership information, like, and copyrights cost just a ton of information, or a ton of money, I mean. Oh, but then you modify, you make it more customized. Am I getting that right? So you get your the Gerber files or whatever from this place. Yeah, it's a 5-speed. That clutch needed adjustment and a brake bleed. Yeah, that's how I met this customer. They brought it to me because they had it at another shop 3 times and they couldn't get the clutch to work. But even though it's all smashed up, the clutch still works now. And the car does needed quite a bit of other stuff, but I could only offer $100. That's all I could offer for it. There doesn't seem like there's much there. I mean, I could probably offer $200 and still make out, but It's not worth my time. No, not everything was sound in the car. She needed a bunch of other repairs. The truck trailer with logs on the trailer didn't have any lights. Yeah, and the trailer didn't have the lights on it, and it was blocking the lights that were on the truck, so she didn't see it. I don't think that's her fault, but in Minnesota they have a, when you rear in somebody, it's kind of like a fault no fault rule, because usually the person that rear ends somebody, the person that does, is at fault. But I would say it's the guy's fault that didn't have no lights on. So tomorrow, Michelle, you got to call the guy with the golf cart, because we got his air filter here and he already paid for it. So I just need to slap that in there for him. I have to fix this Toyota van, the sliding door. We fixed the one on the other side a couple years ago. A miracle that I was able to get that to work, but I did. Now it's this side, but it's a different problem. So I got to get that spider web of a sub door latch in there, and then see what's up with the air conditioning, because they said I'll have to probably call them, but my note says air conditioning. But when I brought it in, it was hot out today, and by the time I got it in here, it was cold. So not sure what they're talking about. Yeah, it was pitch black at night when she had the accident. Must have been on a very dark road. Golf cart air filter. Yeah, there's a guy here that I changed his oil on his golf cart. He was a walk-in. I'm like, well, I got SA30 here. I bought it. Or I didn't tell him how much I bought it for, but I got, how many quarts? 30 quarts of it. I bought for a penny a quart. And his golf cart takes SA30. And I said, well, it all depends on the filter. I don't have too many filters on hand, but I have some for small engines. But his didn't have an oil filter on it. So a walk-in, I figured it's going to take me about half an hour to swap his oil out. And then I checked a few other things on there, and he needs an air filter. So I ordered him one. And then he paid for the oil change and the air filter all at the same time. So we got to just slap it in there. A pretty nice guy. I used to work on, he don't drive cars anymore. He's getting too old. But I used to fix all his cars, keep him up and running. But he's been retired and had some health issues, and that's why he's in town. He was at the care facility, the old age home or whatever. But he's gotten better, and he's out of there, and he bought a house, and now he just drives that golf cart around. Yeah, it's I'll show you. It's this one. I changed the oil on it. No, it's an air filter for this golf cart. I don't know. We probably could advertise a like small engine golf cart, ATV, UTV repair. We could probably make a go out of that. You don't know how many Rangers and lawnmowers and Can-Ams that I change oil on and do tune-ups on. I keep a lot of small engine parts on hand. I got a whole cabinet over there that's full of air filters, fuel filters, belts, spark plugs. Now we got all that oil we bought from AutoZone for a penny a quart. Yeah, it showed up on is it Parts Tech? Parts Tech. I was searching for oil and I seen some for a penny a quart from AutoZone. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna order a couple quarts and see if I get it and see how much they charge me. Sure enough, they sent them right away. So I waited a couple days. They didn't change the listing, and it said they had so many carts left. Well, it would have been 28 carts left at the same price. So I bought it all. And Leisure said that guy was going to get fired, but so far all them guys are still working there, so nobody got fired. I'd have gave it all back to them. I didn't want nobody to get fired. But I needed a quart for my lawnmower, and then so far this golf cart took some, and other lawnmowers take SA30. Some of them use 1030 nowadays. Yeah, so I switched to a beer. We got about a half hour to go. Switched to having a beer. A Busch Light. Where's the Busch Light? Yeah, I told Michelle that we got to have our reception room done before we go on vacation. I had my brother bring in the shear so I can cut the sheet metal. We bought some siding. I got the tops for the bench. I'm gonna get Michelle a square terminal with the big screen on it, and we're gonna sell like pop and snacks. I think we're gonna sell granola bars, Michelle. The new Napa rep is gonna get fired. I told her that I guess the Adaptive One brake calipers, I don't think I've used those because Napa got me a bad taste in the mouth from their old brake calipers that never worked, always failed. But she told me she'd look into it and she's going to adjust my price on the calipers. And she's due to come here tomorrow. And today I waited 2.5 hours to get an oil filter. So she told me I'm only 9 miles from Napa. She told me that they should bring that out here whenever I order. So they haven't been lately. So I gotta do some tattling or something. I shouldn't have. They do morning runs through here. I shouldn't have to wait 2.5 hours to get an oil filter. And this particular oil filter, the Napa store only ever stocks one. So whenever I order it, I order just one because that's all they have. So we should that's the oil filter you were talking about today that you said wasn't in the system, Michelle. But we should order another one and have it here because that customer is a regular customer. It looks like you got another guy there to moderate, Michelle. Yeah, we talk about cars here. Are you sure that they aren't just chat bots? So yeah, I'm a little bit excited to get that engine pulled out of there. I didn't put all the bolts in. I just put what bolts I needed in there to run it. I did hook up the torque converter because I didn't want something weird to happen. So I hooked it up, bolted it in. So I got on bolted torque converter, take the starter out. I only put a couple bell housing bolts in there. I left the engine mount bolts loose. And I should be able to pull it right out of there. I put a little jack underneath the transmission to hold it up. Good job, Michelle. So yeah, I'm gonna get that engine out of there, get it on the stand, flip it over, pull that main cap girdle off or whatever, the main cap, the whole bottom of the engine's the main cap. No, because bots wouldn't say those things. Well, I guess it depends what you program the bot to say. Why would people say that? That's dumb. people, if it is a person saying that, they need to be more considerate. Yeah, I got the chainsaw running. And this saw came to me completely covered in wood chips and oil, and I cleaned it all up for the guy. What else? What did I have to do? It had. He told me the story is last year he was using it, ran out of gas, regassed it, could never get it started. So I dumped the gas on it, and the gas, the premix did not look good. It's probably the store bought and stuff that's already premixed. That stuff does not last. So I just switched out the gas on it, cleaned the air filter, cleaned it all up, and she started right up. So it was actually pretty easy. Yeah, we still got to tell this gal, Michelle, that wrench will change this evaporator core. And I was watching some guy had a short video of it. It must be the algorithm, because. And then there was a commenter in there that said you just take out 3 bolts on each side and unplug a couple plugs, and you can pull the whole dash out as one assembly. Which I'm sure you have to do something with the steering column and a few other things, but she so far has decided that she doesn't want to fix it, at least with the quote I gave her. But yeah, it's a 2009 Toyota Camry. And this is the heater core, by the way, but the AC dies run through the heater core. It still sells exercise machines. Well, I suppose you got to do something when you charge so much for your chainsaws. But I guess that is some pretty good stuff. I got a steel hat up here. Steel, if that's what you want to call it. I could switch my hat over. Here we go. Now I'm gonna work on some. Now I'm gonna work on some steel chainsaws. There we go. Yeah, I was over at the John Deere dealer getting some oil one day, and then they had this hat. I think it was only $2, so I bought it. Yeah, that one Ford Edge I worked on, that's the brakes. Oh my. Michelle sent him a quote the other day. We haven't heard back from him, have we? Everything was just super rusted under there. You get a workout trying to get them to start. I thought they started. Usually, steel starts pretty good, don't they? I thought. What is my chain? What is our chainsaw that we got with the shop? That thing starts up one pull. Yeah, when we were moving in, they left a brand new chainsaw in here. It didn't have a bar on it though. But I asked the guy, I'm like, "You want that chainsaw?" And he's like, "No, that comes with the shop." So I bought a new bar and a chain and put that on there, and realized that the saw had never been run before. It was brand new. Is rather swim in the lake or the ocean than buy a machine. Definitely. Is that from the Titanic wreck? No, that's the one I put the brake booster in. But you could not stop this car. Like, the brake pedal was hard as a rock. And after I got it done, I did test drive it. and it stopped fine, but the rotors were everything was super rusty. Yeah, I noticed it wouldn't stop fine, but it would stop. So I brought it back in, and I'm like, oh boy, this thing's been sitting a long time. And he said, yeah, they couldn't drive it because that brake booster. I mean, you literally had to put all your weight in the pedal to stop. I thought I was going to go off the end of the drive-on hoist when I brought it in. But I was ready to shift into neutral and shut her off. Maybe catch reverse before I go off the end. But he brought his own parts. They both brought their own brake boosters, which was super weird. They're both Amazon. And they both looked it up after they bought the brake booster. They both looked it up on YouTube, and they're like, oh, well, that's a little harder than I thought. But we got them fixed up, and it wasn't too bad. I can't tell you how much it was, but it was very reasonable. So that's the other thing we were talking about. Like my shop is a more of a, what am I trying to say? Economy based shop. Like we do more economy repairs. We're cheaper on our labor rate than all the other shops by almost half. The BG guy, though, he was pretty mad at me. He's like, you can't undercut the shops like that. And I'm like, well, you can't tell me what to do. He said he was going to stop back in a couple of weeks, and he never did. So he obviously didn't think his products belonged to my shop. Which that's fine with me. The only thing I really like from BG is the Enforce. That's some good penetrating oil. Set the chain brake. Yeah, I don't know if this car has had a chain brake. I got a Homelite, old vintage Homelite chainsaw that when I was working at the landfill, in between my business and trying to get customers and getting lined up, I did some service calls out to the landfill, and they wanted me to operate a machine for a while. So I said I could do it on certain days, and then if I get a call or something, I got to go. But yeah, I operated this machine for about a month up there on top of the landfill, but it was so dusty and smelly, I couldn't take it anymore. Anyway, somebody had a pickup load of stuff, and then he was looking at me, and he held up a chainsaw like he's throwing this into the landfill. So what do? I walk the machine over there, and I go pick it up, and I take it home. That's my chainsaw. Anyways, me and Dad completely took it apart. Everything. We split everything, and we got it going again. But it's at the house, and I want to paint it orange and put custom car on the side of it. Alicia says my saws are antiques, no chain brakes. Yeah, I don't think this Homelite saw that I got has a chain brake. I'm gonna bring it in. I'll show it on Thursday. And it's been sitting for 2.5 years now, so maybe 3. But we'll see if we can get it running, maybe. But yeah, I should have stripped all the paint off of it when we had it completely disassembled. But it's a good saw. It runs fine. But the guy was he threw it away. Oh, there was a problem with it. Like it had the crankcase gasket or something was leaking. Yeah, we help lower income people as well as everyone else. Rates are the same for everyone. Oh, you got to text up north for a service call on excavator, Pete. Yeah. No, I'm not texting Juan. You can text him tomorrow. We ain't got any time soon we can go up there anyways. We're out to almost the end of August where we got free openings. But Juan called. He's got one of his machines down. He said they took the magnet off. It was working fine before they took the magnet off. I don't know why they took the magnet off. But he said after they put the magnet back on, he can't get it to work. And I told him it's got to be something really simple and you can figure it out. But sometimes he gets a little. No, it's not a Super XL. It's older than that. It may be. It's got like a. It's got a big bar on it. It might be an 18, and it's kind of the older orange colored or red colored, but it's very old. It's not super old. I think they had blue ones that were older than this one. When I was younger, we had to cut wood to heat the house and split it. And dad had a couple chainsaws. He had a old small McCulloch. He had a Homelight, like the Super XL. I know that was a Super XL. And then he had a McCulloch 610 Mac 610. I always used the Mac 610 on everything. I like that saw. And then, of course, that's how I learned to work on chainsaws, because we had to do regular maintenance on them. I had to split wood every morning before school, or else mom would be cold and the house would be cold. So every morning before, I'd always cut it when I get home, cut it into sections or whatever to split. And we had to hand split it. So I had like a maul and a splitting wedge and splitting maul. But I ended up, what worked the best for me was an axe. So I used an axe. Every morning before school, I would split enough wood so mom had enough wood until I got back home. So that's how my winters went when I was living at home. On Christmas, mom would order a pickup box full of wood. That's all we could afford. That was our Christmas present. So we could take a couple days off, not having to split wood. And then all the wood went down into the basement, and we had outside cellar steps or whatever. But dad made, what were they? They were the grain augers, or the older ones that had the belts in them that would auger the stuff up. But anyways, he made those sections of those so we could throw the wood down into the basement. Case Tractor 47, my dad had an antique precision bow saw chainsaw. Not sure what that is. I might try to just Google that. Bow saw. Oh boy. Yeah, I've never seen one of those. I think I'm going to put you guys on the screen, and we're going to go look at Case Tractor 47. All right, I'm putting you guys on the screen. We're going to the internet. I'm going to pull up some images. Yeah, I've never seen a saw like that. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going back. Leisure said, I used to have a Maul 2 micrograms. I used to have a Maul 2 mg. They are made in Canada. Well, JD is here, and he's from Nova Scotia, Canada. So he's peekaboo. He might have crashed out because he's 2 hours ahead of us. So it's well, that's be 12:57 there. And we're winding down a little bit. So, but nice to have you here. Case Tractor 47. So where are you from, Case Tractor 47? At least I can say that name. Some of the people that come on here. Well, Michelle's been moderating tonight. I couldn't say some of those. Of course, I'm not good at pronouncing stuff. 2 milligrams. Yeah, that's got to be pretty light. Should we research that one too? Two milligram mol. Yeah, I ended up just using an axe. Yeah, so it's getting late for JD. He might have crashed out already. Oh, 2MG is a chainsaw. All right, we're going to put this back up. So this is what Leisure was talking about. Where did he say that? So Leisure said, I used to have a Mall 2MG. So that's a chainsaw. Let's go look at it. I know it's really small. We're in portrait mode, but 2MG chainsaw right here. That is old. I don't think my home light's that old. So the problem is with these bigger chainsaws, back then they were heavy. Mall 2MG. Look at that bad boy. Well, that's pretty cool, Leisure. I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm putting up that chainsaw that I just fixed. It's a Husqvarna. Case Tractor says they are made in Montreal, Quebec. I am from Maine, born in Maine. Well, Leisure is in Connecticut. That's cool. We got somebody from Maine, Michelle. We're in southeast Minnesota, southeastern. We're like 15 miles from the border to Iowa. We just started a little repair shop right here. I've been doing it since 2021. But we just got a new shop and we moved on to the highway. The one chainsaw my dad had that was the best was a Pardner chainsaw. He has now a few steels, one Husqvarna, one Homelight. Let me show you my shop. I got a lot of pictures on here. Here's my house shop. That's where I first started in 2021. So a little 3-car garage with only 2 doors. And then here's the shop I have now. All right, let's look up this other chainsaw. Pardner chainsaw. All right, let's go back onto the internet. Bringing you guys along. We're in chainsaw mode. this one. That reminds me of almost like a home light. Here's another one. I guess where would we be without chainsaws, right? All right, Case Tractor, thanks. I'm gonna subscribe back. Let's go check it out. You have 7 subscribers, but you don't have no content yet. Subscribing back. So yeah, that screen there is what you guys, or what I look at. So that's what I'm looking at all the time. Exactly how it looks for me, except it's bigger. Yeah, thanks a lot for the subscription. We like to follow everybody back that follows us. I sometimes I miss some people. Sometimes I'm terrible with names, but I did write you down if you ever come back again. We have live feeds on Tuesday nights are like this and the portrait. Somebody's here. And then Thursday nights at 7, we have them in landscape, so it's bigger. I'm just going to peek out the window and see who is here. Put you guys on something else to look at here. Michelle's motorhome lights. All right, I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody out there. Who was it, Michelle? Or is that just you? Michelle could have let Daisy out or something. I just closed up the motorhome and turned on the AC. It's just me. Okay, let's put Daisy on here. The Daisy dog. This is Michelle's dog. I adopted this dog. She's sitting outside the shop. This is just a few weeks ago, probably. Yep, because there's the coolers for the parade. We did the parade. So there's the truck. We did the parade. We got some sponsors. We got Auto Value, Napa, and AutoZone. They all gave us some water for the old people and candy, but it turned out opposite. I handed out almost 200 bottles of water, but the kids all wanted the water. We're gonna do it up even better next year, Michelle. All right, I'm back on. Case Tractor says my dad's male German Shepherd is 10, and only thing wrong with him is he's hard of hearing, bad each ear. Yeah, that's too bad. Usually German shepherds have the problems with the hip, right? Like they have a hard time walking when they get that old. And that's pretty old. That's really old. Yeah, I'm glad your dog is doing good. It's too bad about the hearing, but I'm sure he's coping with it just fine. I'm just looking through the pictures to see if there's anything else. We're just kind of winding down just a little bit, or at least I am. Here's Daisy at the shop. I can relate. I'm half deaf and just got the cochlear Osaya implant so I can hear better. Yeah, Michelle just got her. Let me put a picture of that stuff up. We just went into the. So that's the box we just got today. The one in the middle of the screen. And then the other stuff is that little black round thing on the bottom, oval thing. That's the thing that goes on outside of her skin. And then I guess, I don't really believe it, but this other stuff is on the inside of her skin. But she was born half deaf. But now she's got a hearing device that helps her hear on the ear she can't hear. Oh, you want to see what Michelle looks like? There's Michelle. Yeah, we got the race car going, and from, I think at this point in time, it hadn't run in 18 years, but we decided to get it running again, and we want to get it, the colors changed on it, retinned and painted, and keep the same number, but make it orange and orange, all orange. And then we switched it from methanol to E85. So Case Tractor says, I'm hard of hearing since birth, but I don't know how to say that word. Do the nicht. Do the nicht. Oh, well, he retracted his message. Well, let us know about your hearing, because Michelle is very interested in other people that have a hard time with hearing. And she's finally just getting the help she needs now, this late in life. Of course, that's pretty young yet. I have another picture of Michelle. She don't like this one, but I like this one better. So Benny's another guy that comes on here, and he builds all these hot rods, and he's actually going to bring me the 63 Impala in a couple weeks to pull out the transmission. Oh man, I don't know what's going on here. My mouse slipped. That's my water barrel. It's full. Benny's hot rods right here. So here, that's one of Benny's hot rods. And then Michelle is in this one. Benny came to give her a ride. That's a 66 Nova, not a 67. I've had it wrong this whole time. Yeah, I got to make it bigger. You can't see Michelle. There she is. She's always flipping somebody off. Case Tractor says, I'm hard of hearing since birth, diagnosed since 4, and wear 2 hearing aids since the age of 5. Had right ear surgery to replace 3 bones in 1995 when I was 15, which failed. Oh, man. That is not good that the surgery failed. That gets your hopes really up. Sure, you had to pay a lot. But now he wears 2 hearing aids. He has hearing deficiency like me. Maybe that's what he meant, deficiency. And Michelle's 48 years old. Jesse Jolson was here. I got your sign put up, Jesse. Looks like she's saying hi and goodbye all at the same time. I hope you have a good night, Jesse. Thanks for coming. Case Tractor, I was hearing impaired. I was in a hearing impaired class with mainstream classes all my schooling and no signed exact English sign language. No exact English sign language. I don't know sign language, but I think Michelle knows some. Sorry it failed. My ENT worked miracles on the surgery for me. I was a little bit worried it wouldn't work, but it works amazingly. At first, it was very what is the word I'm trying to say? It was very like she had a hard time with it at first. She had to get the volume turned down and some settings reset. Everything in my ear was too soft to hold the prosthetics. Yeah, so you're close to our age then. A little bit younger. Just trying to think. In 19... Yeah, you're a little bit younger than us. Now my right ear after surgery is moderate to severe hearing. Michelle says, doctor said surgery was to take about 1.5 hours. Yeah, it took 7 hours for her. I thought something bad happened. My anatomy is different on my right side because of my microtia. 45, yeah. You're just a little bit younger than Michelle. I'm gonna be 53 this year. Leisure's a little bit older than me. And JD that is in Nova Scotia, Canada, he's just a little bit younger than me, probably around your age, I think. I don't remember. Benny's quite a bit older than us. Yeah, that's Benny's hot rod. He built that car. 66 Nova built it. It's got a 383 crate engine that he put in there, but he built everything. He was just here today. Made an appointment for his 63 Impala that he's starting to finish up. Looks like you got another one there, Michelle. Today I was at ENT and they said my prescription is supposed to be much higher for sound, but it's set very low. It's been all my life and never heard out of my ear, so it's been really intense. That's why I have her set to very low. Yeah, it was a little overwhelming for her. I think that's the word I was looking for. And now she's got her Bluetooth TV device. So that's going to work good for the shop because when she's here helping me, she has the TV on and it's really loud. So she just got that device that's in the middle of the screen today, so she can Bluetooth the TV right to her. A Case Tractor says, I have a 1987 Mazda B2200 with around 50,000 miles. It's my daily driver. Yep, people are going to keep their old cars and they're going to keep them running because the newer cars are shit. Now I heard, this is what I heard now. I'm putting me back on. This is what I heard now. I don't know if this has already started or if it's going to start, but they're going to, for the new model cars, they're going to make a limited supply of parts that could last, I think they said 5 years. And then they're going to destroy all the dies and molds and all that stuff. So when that limited supply of parts runs out, your car is junk and you got to go buy a new one. I already know what they're doing. They're already making special tools, special everything on your car to make it super hard for any shop to repair. Here's one of the, I mean, that's a, I would say not a common nut, but I don't have sockets in my shop for that. And Leisure said that's an eTorx Plus. But that was on a 2021 Lincoln Navigator for the, no, it was oh, I can't remember what kind of car it was now. But I have it in here. I'll go show you. A Lincoln Aviator. To change this catalytic converter that cracked on the bottom. And this thing's only got, I can't remember how many thousand miles, Michelle. It was low mileage, 30-some thousand miles. And that catalytic converter has already busted. Yeah, we used to have a Mazda B2200 at one of the shops I worked at. It wasn't my car, but it was somebody else's. I need the TV loud even when closed captions are on. Approved username says, hey, it looks like you. I don't know what she's talking about. You got it on all comments, Michelle? Yes, the same case, but now today I have the device. I can hear it, listen to the TV when it's on mute for Pete. I don't even have to see the TV to hear it or understand it. Also, I can hear everything else. I just wish that thing could work for like a Bluetooth radios and all kinds of stuff like that. The radio in the Jeep. But I think it's getting down to that time where I am gonna call it and sign off. And Case Tractor 47, if you wanna hang out again, come on Thursday night. We have a live feed. I can put pictures and the internet up here a lot better because it's on the landscape format. So in 2 days, come on back. But yeah, we talk about everything, but I try to focus. My thing is like help people with their cars. Talk about cars. Talk about what we did. Talk about what we worked on. JD's a mechanic in Nova Scotia. Yeah, that'd be cool if you come along. I wrote your name down here, and I'll remember you're from Maine. So we got a couple guys in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Florida, Michigan. I'll miss some of them. 2 guys from Canada. Got a guy from Louisiana. I think there might be one guy in California. I can't remember. Oh, Idaho, Ohio, South Carolina, Virginia, Texas. We got a guy from Texas, a couple guys from Kentucky. We had one guy from Belgium one night. Remember that? Georgia, Colorado. I can't read my own writing on that one. Arkansas. So yeah, we're reaching out there a little bit. We've helped a couple people. JD's helped me, or Leisure's helped me fix a couple cars here. So yeah, it's all good. Got a great bunch of guys on here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wind her down. Maybe that's a new one. Wind her down, call it, and sign off. So hope everybody has a great rest of the week. If I don't see you, a great couple more days. If I see you on Thursday, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And you guys can catch